Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is, hope you're doing well. And today we are Kanye with Cringing. Kanye West, world famous songwriter, rapper, singer, producer, you know who he is. I've done some recent video coverage on Kanye on this channel, on my main channel, because he's been dropping music. He's been kind of going crazy on Twitters. His deep and direct embrace of Trump and the MAGA movement has caused a gigantic explosion, a gigantic stir on the internet this past week, and now Kanye is on another run of interviews in promotion of his new albums and I guess his new way of seeing the world. He recently did an interview with Charlemagne the God, and now he is hooking up with good people over at TMZ, popping into their newsroom, which already to me just kind of makes me skeptical. He's popping in their newsroom, doing an exclusive interview with them, and let's see how it goes.
People were taught how to think, we're taught how to feel. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do.
This is exactly what I have said in video time and time again when I'm addressing this topic. People constantly who are trying to deflect from the truth, people who basically can't deal with reality for one reason or another, are saying, Anthony, you just don't like conservatives. You just don't like Republicans. You think black people have to be Democrats. No, this is Kanye's ego driving him to do this. This is Kanye's weird addiction to doing anything and everything that his fans, people who are his haters, or society at large tell him not to do. I said it in a tweet. Here's the tweet right here, posted days ago. If you want Kanye to do something, guaranteed he will do it if you tell him not to do it. Anything society tells him not to do, hey, that's bad, hey, that's wrong, hey, that's not a very good thing, he will do that thing. Hey, you're not very good at making clothes. Your clothes are a little hideous. The fact that your clothes are not doing all that well has nothing to do with racism. There are tons of celebrities, children out there, both black, white, and everything in between, that have very successful multi-million-dollar clothing lines. Name check Magic Johnson's son. And the reason their clothing lines are successful is because people actually like their clothes. Whereas when it comes to Kanye, only his desperate fans will buy his clothes. Kanye is doing this for attention. Kanye is doing this because society is telling him that liking Trump is a bad thing. And listen, we can agree or disagree or whatever on that if you legitimately have personal reasons for liking Trump. However, Kanye's reasons for liking Trump are that he thinks other people think he shouldn't like him. Which, if that's your reason for liking anything, then maybe you should reevaluate why you like things. That's not a reasoned stance. That's not a principled position. In fact, that's not thinking freely at all. That's actually having society dictate what you're thinking and what you're doing still. Just doing the opposite of what society tells you is a good thing is not thinking freely, is not breaking the norm, because especially when it comes to American politics, the Democratic and Republican dichotomy, the spectrum of politics within that debate is very narrow, is very short. To actually think freely is to maybe, I don't know, pick an option outside of that very narrow worldview that isn't normally presented to you in the mainstream media. But instead, because Kanye's thinking is so short-sighted and so narrow-minded, and because all he's doing is being a contrarian, all he can think is, well, I'm just gonna like Trump.
I just love Trump. That's my boy. Like, it's like so many.
Trump is not your boy. Like, he invited you to one meeting, signed the hat. He has not met with you since. He had you come to the Trump Tower for clout. He's essentially using you for clout again on Twitter. You're not buddies with Trump.
It's like so many rappers, you'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
Yeah, dude. Really nice Paul Joseph, my channel is dying Watson talking point there. You're really thinking for yourself. You're really thinking freely. Okay, so you don't see a difference here between rappers name-checking Trump in their songs years ago, back when he was essentially a neutral actor, a celebrity, a sign in America of wealth, and a lot of rappers like to glorify wealth in their songs. So of course, Trump as a brand is associated with wealth. So if rappers want to rap about wealth or rap about being wealthy, it makes sense that some of them would name check Trump. Before getting into politics, Trump really couldn't hurt anybody outside of people who were dumb enough to be duped by him. But now that he's in office, his decisions affect everybody. What he does day in and day out affects everybody. So you don't think that there might be a reason that people who before might have thought he was just a neutral actor and were kind of cool with the brand, the aesthetic of Trump, and now that he's gotten into office and he's enacted a lot of policies or tried to enact policies that a lot of people disagree with, you don't think it makes sense that a lot of rappers and people outside of the rap community would sort of flip on their opinion on Trump?
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to say to that. Okay, so Kanye West is essentially trying to poke a hole in this idea that slavery lasted from 1600 up until today, which nobody in their right mind, nobody with any real power, nobody whose opinions you should even really consider is arguing exactly that point. Of course, the hard and clearly defined institution of American slavery lasted not quite as long as 400 years, but there were still ripple effects of slavery after slavery was abolished in America. We're talking about not only mass incarceration and the drug war and housing discrimination, and we can make a laundry list of things going on currently, but before that you had decades of segregation. So if that's the stupid, pointless, incorrect, idiotic point that you're trying to make, then flesh that out so that it doesn't actually sound like you're saying that slavery was a choice. Which, given that it's Kanye West, I mean, he's kind of saying,
well, it was all y'all there during slavery. That sounds like it was a choice with all of you there.
Do I need to say this? Like, no, people were not literally there during slave times just willingly giving into slavery. Like, if you broke the rules or if you tried to break your chains or get away from the slavery that you were bonded into, you were beaten, you were killed, you were made an example of. This is how Americans maintained the slavery system for hundreds of years. It's like Kanye is learning to use his brain for the first time in his entire life, and all of us have to be subject to it, like right now. At one of the lowest points in our history societally, this is when Kanye West decides, I'm gonna learn how the world works, and how I'm gonna figure it out is not by reading a book. I'm just gonna say tons of stupid shit out on the internet, and then maybe people will correct me on it, and then maybe I'll take those thoughts in and learn from them. That's much more productive.
So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay, he's clearly gone from literal slavery to some kind of mental slavery, but he's failed to really make the case for even that being a thing. Like, just because there are people out there on the internet or in society who might have a negative opinion about something that you said or an idea that you might hold, it doesn't mean that those people are putting you in a mental prison. It just means that those people disagree with you. You're free to have your own thoughts and ideas and opinions, and other people are allowed to have their own thoughts, ideas, and opinions about your thoughts and ideas and opinions. People are free to disagree with you. That's the point of free speech, of free thinking. Just because you're too emotionally and mentally insecure to handle outside criticism, it doesn't mean you're freely thinking by doing the opposite of whatever people are telling you to do, or by rejecting any outside stimuli or communication about what it is you're doing or an alternative viewpoint. That's not thinking freely. That's walling yourself up mentally. Kanye's just building the wall in his head.
Do you feel that I'm feeling? Do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
Jesus Christ. I get that Kanye has a track record of saying and doing ridiculous things and having all these outbursts in public and in the media and so on and so forth, a lot of which I've defended and many people have, saying, hey, that's just Kanye being Kanye. That's just what he does. For whatever reason he does it, it doesn't really matter because, hey, it's entertaining. Sometimes it's funny and it gives his fans something to gawk at when he's acting out and he's telling it like it is and he's got no filter. But this right here is clearly beyond that. Like, a grown, well-adjusted person does not stand around in a large group of people saying, do you feel that I'm thinking free? Do you think I'm thinking free right now? Do you feel my freeness and my thought and my thinks?
I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought And the reason why I feel like that
It's because Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there's
What is this look that he has on his face right now? He just looks like he's so ready to just like, okay, this is someone who's telling me something I don't want to hear, so I'm going to shut off and I'm just going to tilt my head this way and I'm just going to act like he's not saying it, and I'm just going to in my mind go la 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 la. He looks like a 2-year-old who just got caught drawing on the wall in crayons, and he just does not like what he's being told right now. This is not how an adult human being looks when they are being dealt legitimate criticism or just an opposing viewpoint. You don't look like you're on the verge of a temper tantrum. You just can't handle that Kanye's being conservative. You can't handle he's breaking the conditioning. You're literally worshiping a man-child.
2 days after I got off of opioids, and I was addicted to opioids, 2 days I got off of opioids, I'm in the hospital, right? I'm taking hey, everyone listen to this, please. 2 days before I was in the hospital.
Okay. What? I mean, I know Kanye's always been, a little arrogant, but to sort of have to take it in as large of a dose as we're taking it here, it's a little much. I love this right here. As soon as Kanye turns around, their faces right there behind him are indicative of how your average person feels internally as they are listening to Kanye West rant. You can see as Kanye is facing them, they're feeding into what he's saying, they're being very polite, they're nodding their heads, they're, giving him room to say his piece. But as soon as he turns around, instantly, just blank stares, just mild grins, mild smirks, and the pure look on their faces of, this man is full of shit.
I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got
Okay, hey, hold on now. You cannot blame your decision on getting liposuction and getting hooked on opioids on, it was because of you guys. It was because I was trying to look good for you guys. Because if I was touring or if I was here and I was there and I showed up and I looked fat, then you guys would say I looked fat. You guys would write it. You guys would write down that I looked fat. You'd say that. Who gives a shit if you show up fat? Obviously, you got to the point where you were fat. You just had a kid. A lot of males who have kids when their wives are pregnant and they just have a kid, you put on some daddy weight. Kanye, maybe you just put on a little bit of daddy weight. So what? Who cares? If you gain some weight, you gain some weight. If the tabloids aren't writing about you getting fat, they're going to be writing about somebody else getting fat. That's nothing to dictate your decisions on. And also, I don't know how you can get here in the TMZ office and get angry about everything that the tabloids are saying about you, and you don't like it, and it hurts your feelings, and it makes you do things that you don't want to do, when you literally glamorize this kind of lifestyle on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Oh, the tabloids are saying this about me, and all this drama in the media, and blah, 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 blah. You literally made this lifestyle up and glamorized it with hopes that you would eventually enter those upper echelons of celebrity society where the paparazzi are following you around and they want to know everything that you're doing. You clearly knew what was at stake there. Plus, you married into a family whose entire business model is getting attention in the tabloids, is having paparazzi and having society obsess over every single little thing that they do. So now that you're there, you're going to blame the media, you're going to blame TMZ, you're going to say, well, people are just being too critical of me physically, so I have to do these things that I don't want to do. No one was making you get liposuction, and you were not so heavy, I'm sure, that your life was in danger.
I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob at the wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married. I didn't want y'all to call me fat, so I got liposuction, right?
Nobody made him or you do that. Nobody made anybody do that. The media can say whatever it is they want about you, but why it is you feel like you have to dictate your life by that is beyond me or probably anybody else who would let any comment thrown at them on the internet or in an article or whatever at them just roll off their backs, because that's what adults that have other things to do.
So the reason why I denounced, why I dropped those tweets and everything, because I was drugged the fuck out, bro. And I'm not drugged out. These pills that they want me to take 3 of a day, I take one a week, maybe 2 a week. Y'all had me scared of myself, of my vision.
All right. There's a serious discussion to be had here off of what Kanye is saying. However, he's putting the blame of it onto the people in the TMZ office, because I feel like the only reason he showed up here is to settle some kind of grudge or just get in these people's faces, because Kanye has an unhealthy relationship with the media and maybe even this publication. So he's come here to say his piece and set the record straight. The real and actual conversation going on here, which Kanye is truly a victim of, is that Big Pharma, they are not properly regulated by the FDA. They come out with these opioids, they come out with these painkillers that people are getting addicted to routinely. They fully understand the addictive properties of these drugs, and nobody is curbing them from making them. Nobody is asking them, hey, could you improve these? Could you redo this? Could you, sort of think of another way that these can be produced so that people aren't just getting hooked on them the moment they take a couple of them? So there's that side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that, like Kanye said, doctors are overprescribing these things. They are overprescribing these pills and pretty much guaranteeing the people who get prescriptions like these, like the oxycodones and so on and so forth, they're gonna get hooked. So that is a serious discussion. That is a really important thing. That is a horrible thing. But unfortunately, because Kanye can't see the forest for the trees, we're not having that conversation. Instead, Kanye is taking this really awful thing that happened to him and he's just yelling at TMZ about it. What the fuck?
Y'all had me scared of myself, of my vision. So I took some pills so I wouldn't go to the hospital and prove everyone right.
Okay, so you're taking pills because you got liposuction because you were scared that the media would call you fat. And then you also took pills because the media had you scared of your vision? What?
We are drugged out. We are following other people's opinions.
God. Okay, like in fairness and in defense of what Kanye is saying, we are overprescribed. We are a very prescribed nation. But what the fuck does that have to do with TMZ? What does that have to do with you yelling at the people who work in the TMZ office? The problem isn't that Kanye listened to another person's opinion and, oh, all of a sudden you're hooked on opioids. In a system that works, in a system that makes sense, someone should be able to go into the doctor's office and the doctor, without the patient knowing everything that they need to know about medicine because they didn't go to school for medicine, can take the advice of the doctor, with the doctor saying, hey, I'm going to prescribe this medicine for you. I know it's not going to hurt you. I know it's not going to get you addicted, so on and so forth. But no, the opposite happened, and not because you shouldn't trust other opinions, not because you shouldn't take the advice of a medical professional. It's because the system is broken.
We are controlled by the media. And today it all changes.
Jesus Christ. That was a pile of it. A real pile of it. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Cringing with Kanye. Forever.